Hey SRO Motorsports, it's Ash Vandelay once again bringing you all of the SRO action live here on the SRO Motorsports Twitch chat. I am joined by Kyle Heyer. Kyle, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so excited to be back for another Thursday night race, and I haven't done one with you yet, so this is going to be a fun adventure. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, definitely a fun adventure. That's one way to call it. But chat, how are we doing? SRO asks, where's everyone tuning in from? We have the Netherlands, Minnesota, France. Oh, another Minnesotan. Wow, Minnesota showing up strong in the SRO Twitch chat over here. HCAT supporting Random Vandal saying, I come from a trash can, talking about raccoons. So yeah, no, definitely appreciate that. Slovenia, Texas, a few out of the U.S. friends here. Yes, SR Motorsports streams all of their esports and races live here on the channel and on the YouTubes, so make sure you drop a follow for both because the season is starting in how many days, Kyle?
71 days.
For GTWC America, specifically.
Yes. That will be in Sonoma, California, and the tickets for that event are on sale now, so you can grab some and see, hopefully, both you and myself there. But I guess we'll find out. You got to come and check it out.
Yeah, I was texting some folks at SRO, and I asked if I can film with the famous Sonoma sheep. So we'll see if that happens. Fingers crossed.
The sheep.
Because the sheep, very infamous, very great.
Yes.
We have a huge fan base here on the Twitch chat from last year's watch along on Sonoma. So super excited. And then you had like the NOLA Gators and so on and so forth. But yes, chat, drop a reaction if we should let Ash film with the sheep. Yeah, just type in sheep or send sheep emojis if there's such a thing.
Was it one of those scenarios where they do sheep emojis every time the B-roll cut to the sheep on the hillside?
Yeah, I also put sheep emojis in the title.
Ah.
So, and that was like one of my first big streams with SRO, and I was like, I wonder if the EU colleagues will see this with my little sheep emotes, but we're going to do it live. It'll be fun. So,
NOLA Gators. We went on a gator sighting trip a couple years ago while we were down there, and that was really cool, and you should definitely ask Taylor how that went.
a little nerve-wracking. I feel like every track needs your animal. We do have a race today. We're doing ACC, the GT2 specifically. I know we had a little premiere about that in the SRO Motorsports Twitch channel, this week. And we have about 28 entries, and we're going to have a 30-minute practice currently is what we're staring at, a 15-minute qualifying, a 3-minute pre-race time, so you know all the drivers can get their setups correctly, and then the race itself will be 40 minutes. We're going to make sure they do one mandatory pit stop, and fuel will be required for a fixed refueling time of 25 seconds, and tires are optional on their end. Kyle, have you had a chance to try the GT2 yet? Or, I mean, I'm sure you've been on racing in Spa before.
Yeah, I've been on Spa a bunch of times in ACC. I haven't yet had a chance to try out the GT2s. They're a brand new DLC that just came out here this week. A handful of really unique cars that you can see in the SRO Motorsports paddock. And I think, everyone's a rookie tonight. Everyone knows the track very well, but the cars are still pretty new. And they are faster in a straight line and have less downforce than their GT3 counterparts. So I think there's a lot of learning still going on behind the wheel.
Pretty excited for what everyone can show us. Yeah, it's a very good point. Everyone knows this track. Pretty similarly, a lot of these either esports racers or drivers are folks who do sim racing as a hobby on the side after their 9-to-5s or night shifts. Everyone's been around Spa, tangled with the corners for at least a few races, regardless if it's GT3s and the MX5s and the 86. We'll have some virtual series doing that. But yeah, the GT2s will be new for everybody. So that'll be very, very interesting to see how folks handle themselves. And if we see any typical, sim racing turn 1 fiascos or going in too deep with the buzz stop.
Yeah, that's one of the marquee features of these GT2 cars is they have a few less driver aids than the GT3s do, so braking zones and acceleration zones can get kind of tricky. And we got to see a couple of these cars racing in person back at the Indianapolis 8-hour presented by AWS, and we got to see, I think there was 3 of them in the race at that point, and one of them was the KTM that we have in here. Of course, there was a Mercedes AMG and an Audi as well, and we've got at least the Maseratis, the Audis, and the KTMs and the Porsches all represented here tonight so far. So I'm excited to see kind of how they stack up against each other as well, especially on a track as big as Spa, 7 kilometers around from start to finish.
You definitely don't want to get any penalties here at Spa, regardless if it's GT2s or in general while you're racing an ACC. It's just, it kind of loses the whole racer, because you just mentioned how big it is and going through the pits and whatnot. So make sure everyone's going to be careful with the track limits. And hopefully our live racing stewards are feeling kind tonight.
Yeah, track limits, it's always everyone's favorite discussion. Every time you come to a racetrack that's this big and this fast and you've got runoff areas for safety reasons, the drivers will take it to the absolute limit. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile, then say that they didn't take that mile. So, oh, big slide there for D'Alessandro through the uphill at Radillon there and over the crest down the Kemmel Straight. Great looking Porsche on board the number 70 now, but yeah, it's going to be treacherous, especially in some of these faster corners, just to keep it on track and avoid those penalties that you mentioned.
And for a few of you who are watching and you're like, oh, who are these folks that are driving? They're actually from our Discord community, and if you're interested in joining the Discord, feel free to use !Discord, and we'll make sure you get that link there. But yeah, feel free, we'll be holding these community nights every so often. I believe our next one's going to be around the Bathurst race. And we will be doing, obviously, Bathurst. So if that interests you, make sure you join the SRO Motorsports Discord, sign up for community races, get exclusive sneak peeks throughout the race season, get to talk to our lovely admins and whatnot. So make sure you check out the Discord and sign up for future races. Because you never know what you're going to encounter. You're going to learn a lot.
You mentioned Bathurst coming up. That's the middle of February as well, February 16th to the 18th. Of course, Bathurst in ACC. We've done that a handful of times in the SRO esports categories, and that's a huge challenge in of itself. Very different than Spa, but the high speeds we're going to see here tonight, I think, are really going to let these GT2 cars shine. Long straights for the straightaways to really play out with these different engine types and things. So I'm excited to see how it goes, but of course you got Bathurst on the calendar. In the real world, of course, we already mentioned Sonoma tickets are on sale, but that COTA event coming up later in the year as well, Ash, that's a big one for us here in the States.
You know, it's all these great racetracks, and something we talk about a lot here while we're doing our watch-alongs, and I'm sure just talking to motorsports fans, just support your local racetracks, and if you're able to make it out to Sonoma, to COTA, and somewhere by you, definitely recommend it, not only for our races throughout the calendar year, but also, you know, they hold events throughout the year. I know COTA does like a cycling night, so you can bring your bike out to the track and do a little bit of cycling around, get some exercise in, talk to some COTA folks, and they have local vendors there. It is a great time, regardless if it's a race weekend or it's just supporting your local racetrack and making sure we can see some fantastic races for really good pricing and really good access, which I think is a huge push to come to a Fanatec GT World Challenge America race.
Yeah, and COTA has quickly become kind of one of the marquee events on the season for Fanatec GT World Challenge. So if you're nearby or a couple states away, it really is worth the trip. It's a spectacular facility, of course, but the racing, it's an entire weekend. I think a lot of people, Ash, that haven't been to an event might not grasp that the weekend is completely full of action from the beginning, really on Thursday afternoon into Sunday is really when everything kicks off. So you got, you know, from 9 to 5, just solid races, practices, qualifyings. Despite their, you know, the top marquee series, you've got, you know, Pirelli GT4 America, TC America powered by Skip Barber Racing School, Toyota GR Cup North America, and so many more as well. So definitely a full weekend experience, not just 1 or 2 races.
I'm going to reveal my bias too, and maybe, and Kyle, if you would like to agree, but I definitely love the Toyota GR Cup. It's definitely one of my favorite racing series to watch during the weekends.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've got the amazing opportunity to call those races last season, and we got to see some amazing racing with some up-and-coming drivers and some that have proven themselves in other one-make series and showed up to Toyota GR Cup North America and just proved themselves all over again. And we got to race some of the best racetracks in North America. We're going to do it all over again this year with a 30-car field. Just really, really exciting to kick it all off again. So, you know, the cars might not be the fastest in a straight line, but I think there is something to say about cars that don't have as much power. When they get packed up on those big racetracks, they really put on a good show. So I think you're right. I'm not sure I could pick a favorite, but that one's really close to being up there at the top for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then here, right now, as we're watching them go around Spa and the GT2s, don't forget we also have the CrowdStrike 24 Hours of Spa under the SRO umbrella. So if you like sports car racing, you found the Twitch channel for you.
Yeah, it's the centenary event this year, the 100th running of the 24 Hours of Spa, the CrowdStrike 24 Hours of Spa. So that new CrowdStrike partnership, that's a really strong partnership as well, and really exciting. Actually, you got to go last year, right?
I did. I wanted to be humble and not bring that up, but I
Well,
did.
I'll bring it up because I was jealous of it. I was really enjoying kind of living vicariously through you last year, but that was a really cool event. Really neat to watch you streaming from Spa Francorchamps and represented so well here in ACC. It's definitely on my to-do list someday to go to Spa.
It was incredible, and we had a really cool opportunity to stream the parade on the SRO Motorsports Twitch chat, and we got to do Twitch booth 18. Twitch booth, sorry, the media booth 18 was where the Twitch stream was taking place. We're doing our watch along for 24 hours, so it was incredible. We definitely have, hopefully, fingers crossed, big plans for this year for the 100th running of it. So if you're able to go to Spa, if you want to take a little trip to Belgium, think about it. You can run into myself there. You can run into some incredible drivers. And again, the access, the parade, it's just something that can't be beat with races like these.
I think the CrossFit 24 Hours of Spa is one of those great motorsports events that, while it's moving into the future in so many different ways, it's also a little bit of a harkening back to the past of the sports car races from decades past. The fact that it's in its 100th year is really cool to get to experience. There's not that many races that have made it that long. And Spa, of course, is going to be one of them, and just a really, truly legendary racetrack. And I think for a lot of drivers here in North America and internationally, it's one on the bucket list. And there's probably 3 or 4 tracks in that category, and Spa's got to be near the top.
Absolutely, and I'm going to drop a link in the Twitch chat, but if you're listening, it's SRO and motorsports.com. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see upcoming events for the full SRO Motorsports Group calendar. So regardless if you want to do Fanatec GT World Challenge America, Australia, Europe, or Asia, or any of our other SRO Motorsports series, definitely check it out. So we have full calendars. I mean, it kind of non-stop racing, it feels like, whether it's esports here on the channel or IRL racing, starting with the Repco Bathurst 12-hour, February 16th to 18th. So make sure to click that link or go check out the calendar. And again, support your racetracks wherever you are, and you'd be surprised at the access you get at here. And Kyle, will we be seeing you at any races this year?
Yeah, tentatively at most of them. I don't think everything's finalized quite yet, but I'm excited to be hopefully back in the paddock some or for most of the season. So should be around there. And if I am there, you'll hear me on the trackside PA, which I'm always really excited to do. To really connect with fans that are there physically at the racetrack is always really exciting. And my favorite thing, Ash, I have to say, my favorite thing about doing trackside PA is when you see videos on YouTube after the fact of people spectating trackside and you can hear yourself in the background. It's got to be one of the coolest feelings ever.
Hey, that's me.
It is. It's so cool. It really, I think there were some people at VIR that posted some videos last year of it, and it was one of those moments where you just sit back and go, how did I get here? But I was stoked about it. So, yeah, definitely post your videos if you go and check it out, and let us know if you run into us, and we'll say hi.
Are you giving full permission for people to say hi to you? Like, if they see you, they can
yes,
please.
Please. I would love that. Just to pretend like I'm famous for a day would be rad, but I'm not. So maybe someday. But it's really cool. Of course, seeing fans at the racetrack. Circuit of the Americas was such a great event last season. There were so many people there, especially at the tail end of the second Fanatec GT World Challenge America powered by AWS race. Everyone crowding around the podium. It just makes the event feel really impactful. So definitely get to an event and see us trackside.
Please, and that's actually a really good point. It's not just for one day if you show up, let's say. When you come up to a Fanatec GT World Challenge America race powered by AWS, you'll get 2 days of racing, So it's definitely worth the attending, and then you get to say hi to Kyle. And then
you can kind of pick your own adventure too. You can camp at the track, you can stay at a hotel, you do all this different variety of ways. But you go to the racetrack for the day from roughly 8:30 to 6, and both Saturday and Sunday are basically full days of racing. So definitely do the weekend experience if you can.
What was a really cool experience for me happened also in Sebring, where someone was in the Twitch chat and they got to take their personal car out on the track before the race commenced, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna wave at you," or like over whatever. So we got to see them wave on stream to the stream while we were streaming. It was like a whole Inception thing. But it was very, very cool that folks are tuning in even at the track to the Twitch stream. See the live timings, talk a little bit, talk about their experiences at the track, how much fun they're having, meeting all the drivers. So that was really cool to see some waves.
That's super cool. Yeah, and the access, you talked about the access earlier, the access to the teams, the drivers, the cars, it's pretty much unparalleled. And, you know, especially to get on track at Spa, that is an experience of a lifetime, I think. I think there's, you know, the drivers are there, and it's a big thing for them, but even just for the fans to get on track, I think it's super cool. So maybe someday I'll get out there, but today is not that day. We're here virtually in ACC, and the laser scans make it feel pretty accurate, but it's not quite the real thing, not yet.
That's a great question in the Twitch chat. What is a difference between a GT2 car and a GT3? And then me and Kyle would take turns, but essentially, for me, a GT2 car features more outright power than a GT3, but less dependent on its aerodynamics to produce really good lap time, making it more friendly for that amateur AM racer, which it is. I think it sits below the GT3 in the SRO pyramid, if I remember correctly, giving that level playing field, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the gist of it, right? It's an opportunity to add a bit more power and remove some of the aerodynamic drag on these cars. They're a little bit more slippery in a straight line. So the top speeds are going to be relatively high, but they still have a couple driver aids, just maybe not as much in some places. And I think in general, they're going to look fairly similar, but maybe a bit more like their road-going counterparts because of that slightly reduced aerodynamic complexity. So you see, you know, cars like the Maserati here tonight, the KTM, they are not that far off visually from their road-going counterparts. Of course, the Audi looks a lot like the GT3 car. Of course, it has a massive roof scoop that helps differentiate that car. And the Mercedes-AMG GT2 looks fairly similar to the GT3, but again, just a little bit simpler in profile without all those aero bits and bobs on it.
I answered your question, King Tarzan. But yeah, if you have any questions about SRO Fanatec GT World Challenge America powered by AWS, please let us know and drop it in the chat. We will do our best to answer. We also have so many folks from the SRO family here, so we will get you that answer for sure.
Yeah, I think it just fleshes out the different experiences you can get as a driver in the SRO Motorsports paddock, all the way from touring car up to GT2 and GT3. You can kind of pick your own path in a number of ways. And there's really something for everybody somewhere along the way. So GT2 is just the next iteration of that. Of course, there's also the GT1 Sports Club, which is an exciting thing that we've seen in Europe. And I think those cars are becoming more popular globally as well. So maybe we'll see those soon. And they also will be, as I said, they're getting more popular globally. They will be at Circuit of the Americas, those GT1 Sports Club cars. So again, just another iteration of GT machine. And those are really swoopy looking cars too. If you haven't seen a GT1 Sports Club car, give that a Google and check it out at COTA in person.
And they sound beautiful.
Oh yeah, they've got crazy engines in those things too.
So I definitely recommend earplugs when you come to a track. Just in general, I think it's just good to bring earplugs and sunscreen is always my go-to when I mention to people what to bring to a racetrack.
Sunscreen's an overlooked one, for sure. And then the earplugs thing. There are some cars that kind of sneak up on you, and then there's others that you will hear from a mile away, and it's when you leave the track and you hear your ears ringing, that's not a good thing. So bring earplugs for sure, because that is hearing damage. You don't want to do that. But generally, if you're sitting in the grandstands, you'll be all right, but I wouldn't shy away from putting those in. Look at that Maserati. Look how cool that thing looks. Swooping down here through Bruxelles and over to Pouhon here in a moment. Really neat looking low slung car with a bit of a roof scoop up there on top as well. And that's kind of an identifying factor for a couple of the different cars in this category. Some of the aerodynamic intake components on the roof of the car.
I haven't livery yet. I haven't been paying too close attention. I mean, I enjoy this red and yellow on this Maserati, but let me be looking at the rest of the cars in a second here. Livery is letting our drivers showcase a little bit of their personality. It's always fun, or representing what team they're driving for in their sim racing career. So,
yeah, you can get a little personality out there for sure. The red and the yellow looking pretty sporty on Bruno Fantasi's car. Tracking out of Côte de Porfrère and heading over to Blanchimont here in a moment. A high-speed corner. It's the 17th turn on the track. Upcoming here, this next left-hander, not the one he's in now, but the one he's about to turn into. Really fast corner through that 17th and 18th corner, and then into the final chicane here, turns 19 and 20. High-speed section here. You got to be really good on the brakes to get it woed down. Great passing opportunity as well. When the race goes green, Ash, that's a great place to get one done.
I'm going to be so excited to see when the race starts. I mean, obviously the turn 1 is great, but through Eau Rouge and seeing how they can handle this car, to see what kind of lines that they get. It's going to be a little different every time, especially if you're side-by-side right there at the start. Who's going to peel away? And again, I like to iterate, these are community races, so not everyone here has the same skill level, and that's totally okay. So if you're ever interested in jumping on in, you know, building up your racecraft, because it's one thing to put out qualifying laps or laps by yourself on a track in the simulator. We want to race side-by-side with some folks of various different skill levels. You know, come join the Discord and sign up for future community races. Like we mentioned, Bathurst will be the next one. So I think it's a good time. Everyone gets to hang out, and we talk about it in the Discord later, and some good camaraderie.
Absolutely, and right now there's only 62 thousandths between the top two at the moment. So yeah, there is some varying skill levels, but some very close ones at the top between Dromo and Leverink there in the number 2 car. So pretty tight between those two, and that, if qualifying looks like practice, that might be your front row.
I wonder, I should be good commentators, you know, just making note of who's in the top two right now in practice, unless they're secretly sandbagging down there in the remainder of the grid. It was quite a surprise for qualifying.
There's Fantasi again in that Maserati, a little wide there at Pujon, the double left at turn 12. Another really fast corner that takes you right out to the edge of the road. And off into the corners at Campos, and then into Stavlo, turn 16, which is the right-hander that sends you back over to Blanchimont, as we pointed out earlier. Just less than 3 minutes here in practice until we're going to turn things over. And so, again, I mentioned earlier that a lot of the drivers tonight probably feel like rookies, no matter how much experience they've got, because this machinery is so new to Assetto Corsa Competizione. So there are some quirks to these cars in traffic that they really might not have experienced yet in a multiplayer setting. You know, following another car through a corner and the different traction control settings and things of the sort. So if you're not completely dialed in, they might be learning on the fly tonight.
Chat, let us know if you're planning on attending any Fanatec GT World Challenge America races. Let us know. Let us know. Regardless, oh, actually, not only Fanatec GT World Challenge America. If you're going to Asia, Australia, Europe, yeah, drop where you're going this year. Where should we see you? Where can me and Kyle expect you?
Yeah, I'd love to get out to some of the international races, of course. I think that's the really neat thing also about SRO Motorsports is the truly global connection it's got between all the different series. Of course, you've got the American component here in SRO Motorsports America, but you've got all the other continents that are running their own series, and effectively it's all kind of the same as far as rule sets and things go. So there really is some continuity over the oceans, which I think is exceptional for a fan, and unparalleled access to the broadcast, no matter where you are in the world, I think is so important, Ash, as you know, to make sure that people can watch racing uninhibited. And I think SRO's got some of the easiest races to watch, probably of any series in the world.
Oh, absolutely. Again, you can join us on the GT World YouTube channel, where the races are streamed there, and then, of course, here on the Twitch channel as well, for Fanatec GT World Challenge America. If you tune into the Twitch chat during the race weekend, you'll find me here, just kind of hosting watch-alongs, as in it's full day of racing, so I'm here to answer questions, bring people in, hang out with you guys, talk about, answer any questions that I can get from Race Control, or texting Kyle while he's in the booth, you know, so...
Oh, big issue there for D'Alessandro, Anne-Marie D'Alessandro in the Porsche, off and into the tire bundles there. Matteo Sceptura in the KTM. This is a great looking car. This Crossbow is a really neat looking vehicle here. I actually got the chance to see one of these at a track here on the West Coast here in America just recently, outside of the realm of SRO, and just got to see kind of the road going variant and how little was different from the race car. Was pretty wild. They really do share a lot, at least visually. I'm sure under the hood there's quite a few changes, but they really are a neat looking car.
And he looked great.